Hi.
Good evening.
We are here. We are happy to be here. I'm happy to be here. Yeah. Yep. You most certainly did. I need to find the
Notebook.
notebook.
Well, we just had the Houston Astros win the series against the Chicago White Sox 10-1 today. It's painful, but the Astros are really good. Really good. I hate saying it, but they're really good. Good for you. Don't want to put any rings on your nice coffee table. All right, I got it shared on Rally Tell Sports, so we are good to go. Boom. So I think the big thing when you're looking at the Brewers, it's 100% relying on pitching, right? That's how they won ball games this year. They had two of the best starters in the National League, one of the best closers in the National League, and the best setup guy in the National League. Well, now they don't have Devin Williams because he was really excited that they won the NL Central. Broke his several knuckles in his wrist. Ooh, hold on a second.
So he only hears Todd. All right, let's try this. Ask me if they hear him now.
Do you hear me now, Bruce? Josh?
That's why this is so fucking incredibly difficult.
We're gonna get this figured out.
Yeah, we got it. Bueno.
Is it clear? Kinda, but yeah. Okay, so that just means it's coming through here and then it's coming through the mic. Alright, I think.
This is live radio.
Right?
Broadcasting.
This is live for you, ladies and gentlemen.
This is why I didn't go into the audio field. All right, Corey, can you say something? All right, I got you here. All right, give me a second, chat. Fuck it, we'll do it live. You goddamn right we will. Bruce, you know that's how I roll, man. I gotta think.
Yes. What Corey just said, if you didn't hear him, follow Rally Towel Sports, follow Line to Gain, and follow Bring 'em Up. I will say, I have learned a lot about audio tonight.
It's really easy, isn't it?
My knowledge was at 0. Now it's at like 10. Ring. R-I-N-G.
If you like it, then you should have put a ring on it.
Good Beyonce reference.
Queen Bee. Are you serious? This is... Okay, say something, Corey. Okay.
I'm sorry that I couldn't get to you. Ooh, ooh.
Media source. Display capture, game capture, audio.
I know, dude. We are T-minus 1 week
All right, so now I gotta
from
get.
opening night of the NBA.
Now I've got to get you to come through the desktop. Hold on, I think I've got it figured out. I think. Don't quote me.
Don't quote me, boy, because I ain't said shit.
I made some. I did a real degenerate gambling thing tonight.
We've got him now. We should have him live.
Should have me live.
Jack, can you hear him?
What do you say? What say you?
The anticipation's killing me.
I know, I just
I'm
want-
just on pins and needles here.
He says Vice. What does that mean?
Vice. I think that means nice because the
Nice.
N is by the B.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh,
there it is.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
So my third career in life is an audio engineer.
Speed up for Bob.
Just this is a tall glass of water for those of you playing along.
Is it?
No, it's not.
Nope.
I can
Just
smell
tell
it.
by the-
Oh.
yeah. Looks like by your reaction and Todd's reaction, that drink looks like it could remove paint from a wall.
That is a Big Ten for, sir.
Stings the nostril.
In a good way.
Burns the whole way down. Good for you. Just got the Hunter's edition of the Bush Latte tonight.
Ooh. All right, chat. Sorry I'm back. I feel like every time I go live on whatever channel I'm on, I'm always having some sort of issue.
Just quit fucking buying new gear.
Oh my god.
This man plays on a whole new level. It's exceptional in here. All the different colors and rings of things, unreal.
It's yeah. We got a new camera.
That's beautiful. You're kind of, I mean, do I even bring it up? You're kind of catching the top of your desktop monitor right there, I think, is what that is.
That is exactly what that is.
There we go.
There he is. Now we can see the 17 water bottles.
Yes.
Beautiful.
I need to stay hydrated.
Hey, stay hydrated, bro.
Holy
Anyway,
Jesus. All right.
we're back. So
We're here.
here's what I
We're
was trying to
recovered.
say
Rebound.
is our new baseball podcast,
Yes.
Bring 'em Up. Valley Tale Sports Podcast, baseball podcast. Ring them up. The page is up and running, and we are going to be having content coming over that page in the coming days. I would imagine baseball is really starting to. Obviously, it's the postseason. It's hotter than ever right now. We were kind of touching on that a little bit before we discovered the audio issues, but let's just rehash that. Todd, you said White Sox took the series tonight.
So Astros took the series.
Or, excuse me, Astros. Sorry.
Astros won won the series 3-1. Beat the Sox today 10-1. Jose Altuve making the MVP run again. The dude just turns onto a different machine when he gets to the playoffs. I don't understand it.
Even when he doesn't know what's coming, he's still able to hit.
Right, which makes the trash gate even more frustrating. Because Jose Altuve had a better year this year than his MVP year, and he gets no credit for it now because now he's a cheater. So it ruins everything.
Yeah,
it does. It's a shame. I would never.
So no, I was just kind of posing a question of like long term. Do you think that instance that happened with the Astros? Do you think that keeps guys like Altuve out of the Hall of Fame?
I mean, if your measuring stick is cheating, then I think it should. If based on other players that are not in due to cheating, or if your measuring stick is rather moral fiber, then I think that follows the same line. Because if you're going to tell me that Pete Rose can't get in because he broke a rule about moral fiber, if you're going to tell me that Barry Bonds, Alex Rodriguez, Mark McGwire, all these guys that cheated by using performance-enhancing drugs, if you're going to tell me that they can't get in, then yeah, I think Altuve shouldn't be in. Those guys should be in before. I think what they did is less egregious than what the Astros did, in my opinion. I think what they did is way worse than Pete Rose betting on the Reds to win, or Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa using steroids. I think it's way worse.
Yeah, so I think the big thing to me, when you look at what the Astros did, was that they lied about it first and foremost, right? AJ Hinch made people out to think that the Astros would never cheat, and now he manages the Detroit Tigers. But he goes on the record saying that they would never cheat, and the accusations are outrageous. And then the next thing you know, he's just eating crow all over the world, really. Right? I mean, he had to eat crow multiple times.
Yeah. He's kind of the fall man, if you think about it. Like, look, none of those other fuckers got anything. No one got 2
years.
Yeah.
And now he's managing the third worst team in baseball.
Third worst team in baseball for now. Like,
right.
you know what I mean? Like, they got Talk, or was it Talk? They got a couple of arms. They got Casey Mize coming up too. I mean, like, they're not like, the Tigers aren't like 10 years away. They're probably like 5 years away.
So I would say Spencer Torkelson will make his debut next year. Casey Mize had a good shortened rookie season. I think that you get him to 175 innings. He is a sub-3 ERA pitcher. He has incredible stuff.
Yeah.
One of the best young arms in baseball. But, so I agree with you, Corey. I think that if Barry Bonds can't make it into the Hall of Fame, even though he hit an outrageous amount of home runs because he took steroids, or Roger Clemens doesn't get to go into the Hall of Fame because he's attached to the Mitchell Report, then nobody on the Astros from that season should ever make it in. Because cheating as a organization is worse than performance enhancement, in my opinion.
Guess what? You still have to hit the fucking ball. You still have to hit the ball.
Right.
And that's one of the hardest things to do in sports. Statistically, that's not even an opinion. That is a statistical fact that hitting a baseball is the hardest thing to do. What other sport where if you do something 30% of the time, you're like one of the best at it? There's no other sport where that is the case.
Absolutely not.
So,
yeah.
And I know this Line to Gain is a football podcast. You're like, what is all this baseball? Well, if you're just joining, ring them up. The new Rally Towel Sports podcast. We've just created the page. You can find us on Facebook. Ring them up. We'll share if we already haven't shared the page on Rally Tell Sports, we will. So you'll be able to find it there, and a lot of baseball action coming as we get even deeper into the playoffs here. So Astros going to meet with possibly the hottest, at least in my opinion, one of the hotter teams in baseball for the ALCS in the Boston Red Sox.
Absolutely. Shout out to the Boston Red Sox for making some of the best acquisitions for players that were either disregarded or not really seen as a superstar. So Boston is, in years past, since they've won a World Series, they have gone after big names to make their roster better. Who would have thought Nathan Eovaldi would beat Garrett Cole in a one-game match, right? That's unbelievable, and pitch better than Garrett Cole, hand over foot. Yeah. Kyle Schwarber, who was written off going into the season as being a one and done, having a great month, the best month of June of anybody, getting traded to Boston after what they thought was going to be a season-ending injury, and has a great second half. Kike Hernandez, who was just a utility man for the Red Sox, making a huge impact for the Red Sox. He was just a utility player for the Dodgers, gets an everyday spot on the Red Sox, is their biggest offensive producer in the division series. And then Alex Verdugo, right? I mean, they got him in the offseason thinking that they were just going to fill a spot for Benintendi, and he is the leader of the outfield on a team that has kind of just been thrown together going into the season, thinking that Boston was going to be a sub 500 team going into the year. So they're hot, and their pitching is finally coming together. And if they can,
you want to talk about the right time?
Yeah. I mean, their bullpen is a group of nobodies, absolute nobodies, minus Matt Barnes, who has been there for 5 years. If you can name 3 people from the Red Sox bullpen, I'll Venmo you $25.
Wow. That's a dangerous ask there, Todd, seeing as they're likely going to just use the internet, but I appreciate that.
Off the cuff. I find out that you use Google, banning you.
Yeah, it's over. Quick way to get blocked. No, I'm just kidding. But the other side, statistically, the best team in baseball, later tonight, going to be taking on the Dodgers. I'm talking, of course, of the 107-win San Francisco Giants, taking on the 105-win Los Angeles Dodgers. One of the most heated rivalries in baseball taking place in Los Angeles tonight. And then on the other side of the NLDS, you have the Brewers and Braves, who are currently in the top of the 8th on TBS, if you're interested in watching that. Atlanta does lead that series 2-1, and again, they are tied up 4-4. In these, again, I still have the Brewers taking that series with the Braves, and then I have the Giants winning the series against the Dodgers. Actually, I have the Giants winning the World Series this year, even though it's not an even numbered year. If you get understand that reference.
Yeah, this is an odd season for San Francisco because they're playing on the off year.
Yeah, what's going on here, guys?
So if you look at San Francisco's lineup, at least in terms of pitching, Kevin Gausman, the Reds had an opportunity to re-sign him after they got him off of waivers from the Braves. And Kevin Gausman has turned in he's one of the best pitchers in the National League in terms of total production if you look at the deeper statistics. And then they also have Anthony DeSclafani, who was the Reds opening day starter 3 years ago. And by the end of last year had a almost 8 ERA and turned around and put together his best year in baseball. And they also signed Kirk Casale to catch both of those guys because that's what they wanted. And
there is something to say about that. And if you look, you can find those examples for every single team. Though I do want to, I'm all about putting the Reds front office in check when they deserve it, and they deserve it a lot. I think you can look around a lot. Like, for instance, Luis Castillo was passed up by multiple organizations. So there are a lot of guys where Nick Castellanos the Tigers dealt him away. Now, albeit he was one of their top bargaining chips in the time where they were getting into a rebuild, but nonetheless, it's not like they got a lot from Chicago.
No.
Let him walk.
That's pennies for the production that Castellanos provided in Detroit.
Even for the flash in the pan that he was, a couple of years ago, and then this year is pretty bad. But towards the end of the season, he probably, I would say, is probably one of the best, infield hitters in baseball. Eugenio Suarez, same deal for him. You know what I mean? So, the Reds have found those as well. Is the point I'm trying to make.
Do you remember who the Reds traded to Detroit when they got Suarez?
It was it Pablo?
It was Alfredo Simon.
Alfredo Simon, that's right. Alfredo Simon, yep.
Alfredo, wow.
He had
what
a
name drop.
The All-Star first half, and then that was it. He was done after that.
So, yeah, again, if you guys are just joining the podcast and like Line to Game football podcast, what's going on here? We are talking baseball because we have launched Ring 'em Up is our new if you guys can go ahead and share if you could drop it on the Line to Game page or the Rally Top page, that'd be awesome. But Ring 'em Up, our new Rally Top Sports baseball podcast. We're unveiling that tonight, so that's why we're.
Have you guys also mentioned that we're live on YouTube?
We haven't yet. Thank you, Bobby. Go ahead and tell the lovely people that we are live.
Let the world
YouTube.
know.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are live on 2 different platforms tonight. First time we're doing it. The link is in the description for our YouTube channel. If you are not subscribed to it yet, please head over there, check it out. It's Rally Top Sports on YouTube. I posted the link in the description of the video tonight. Go check us out. We're trying to branch out, widen our demographic a little bit, and just get the Rally Tal Sports Nation out there. We've got I was literally talking about this at work today about how absolutely awesome this is that we have. This is it's growing into something that's going to be amazing. It already is, but with Ring 'em Up, Line to Gain.
You gonna tell them about it? You gonna tell them about it?
And then was it in the paint?
In the post.
In the post. In the post.
They don't even know about in the post.
We don't even know about it in the post yet. Well, I think I'll leave it there for now. We've got another line coming out for basketball in the post. Well, I guess the cat's out of the bag now.
Way to leave that one.
But yes, we have a basketball podcast coming out very, very soon. So we're gonna be touching on everything, and then we'll use the Rally Top platform to kind of touch on just the miscellaneous stuff that we don't hit a lot, whether it's the Masters when that rolls around or the World Cup, anything sports related that we don't typically talk about outside of baseball, basketball, and football. We'll go just straight under the Rally Top Sports umbrella on that channel. We'll do it from there. But I think the 3 mainstream lines with basketball, baseball, and football are going to get us a very long way. So.
And speaking of sports that we don't talk a lot about, it is opening night for the NHL tonight. We got 2 games slated in right now. We're in the second period in Tampa Bay, where the Lightning are taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Penguins, however, are up 2-0 over the Lightning.
Honestly, that's a sport I really need to get into. What we need to do? We need to go to a Blue Jackets game.
Absolutely. We definitely do.
Absolutely need to go. Corey, I don't know if you'd ever want to make a trip down here.
They play the Red Wings frequently, so I would enjoy that. Blue Jackets games are a lot of fun. I think it's Nationwide Arena, if I'm not mistaken.
Nationwide Arena.
That is correct.
It's a great.
Maybe we can go tit for tit. You can come down here. We can come up there for a Red Wings game.
And the Little Caesars Arena here up in Detroit, brand new or relatively.
Question: Do they have hot and readies in there?
They do actually. Yeah.
Oh my God. Sold.
So the family that owns
there's nothing I like more than paying $8 for shit pizza.
It's not shit pizza. Watch your mouth. It is.
No, I will give credit where credit's due.
You get what you pay for. You know what you're doing when you buy
Little Caesars has gotten better.
Yeah.
It has gotten better. You get what you pay for. It's still not great pizza, but for the price, it is excellent.
Yeah, I mean, shit, it's like, I'm not.
It's better than that cardboard we got in the lunch line at Fairfield.
The rectangle pieces.
Yes, with the little
Yeah.
square pepperonis
That was something, huh?
somehow.
Josh
Oh, yeah.
Wheeler with the comment here saying Blue Jackets games are awesome. They are pretty cool, especially when they score a goal. I think they fire off cannons there. Kind of, the whole thing with the Blue Jackets is that they're the Ohio militia, basically, is what that is. And another cool thing about at least the NBA started this way, but the NHL is a lot of the teams' names mean something, relative to the area that they're from. It's pretty cool. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Definitely a sport I want to get more into. I've always enjoyed, playing the hockey video games. I know that's not hockey in real life, but like that's what really got me into the sport and learning it. Kind of like FIFA. That's how I learned soccer and why I love to watch soccer now. I think the biggest part about really enjoying something is being able to understand it, and once you understand it, it allows you to immerse yourself in the game and understand what's going on. So that's why I would assume a lot of people that don't live in America don't like baseball.
Makes sense
because they just don't understand it. Like I don't understand cricket, so I don't
get
slow. I don't get lit
slow.
about that. But
you know what I mean? Baseball is also just a hard sport to get into.
Yeah,
if
it's something you got to grow up with. It's like Skyline Chili.
It's a slow sport. It's not going to grab your attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean you have to absolutely have a passion for it to really get into it. In basketball news, I don't know if you guys saw. Sorry to switch gears.
No.
Kyrie Irving is not practicing with the team right now, nor will he until he's 100%. That was per was it Ian Rappaport that said that?
100% vaccinated.
Oh, it's a vaccination thing. Okay.
Yeah, this is a big vaccination thing. Kyrie Irving is he is the biggest joke in professional sports right now. This guy is a fucking numbskull. He won't stop putting his foot in his mouth. He won't stop doing it.
I mean, I agree with that, man. Like with the days when he was in Cleveland, granted he helped them win a championship. He sunk the game-winning shot against the Warriors.
Right.
Incredible clutch. Not taking anything away from his talent. He's also an incredibly intelligent human being. When he was at Duke, I mean he aced all his courses. He is a smart guy, but to just lack common sense in the way that he carries himself with being as intelligent as he is kind of disappointing.
Well, that's the thing is there's nothing more dangerous than a very smart person with all of the wrong information. You know what I'm saying? Like he puts himself in this echo chamber where he literally listens to the things that reaffirm what he already believes or wants to believe. Kyrie Irving at one point literally thought that the earth was flat. He's a flat earther.
He's a flat earther.
These aren't people that you just in your basement anymore. This is someone that is literally.
And this is also, sorry to cut you off. This is somebody who has a public platform. This is somebody who has a following. This is somebody whose word carries weight with a lot of people.
And also infinite resources with the contracts he's acquired. Right. So he can basically have an open checkbook to use the money to believe what he wants to believe, which is what happens a lot.
It's absolutely just unbelievable. Bruce, thank you for dropping the link to the YouTube channel in the chat. For those of you just joining us, please check out our channel on YouTube. We are live for the first time on that platform tonight. Looking forward to being live on that.
So Bruce is coming in on the chat on the YouTube side asking no Raiders talk tonight. We're gonna get to NFL.
Oh, don't you worry, Bruce. We're gonna get to the Raiders. you stay tuned
right there.
You sexy mofo.
All right, let's get into these picks.
Well, hold on. And another thing he asked is Golden Knights. He asked, are we going to talk Golden Knights? Because the Golden Knights are starting tonight. That is the 10 o'clock game. If you are interested in falling asleep to some hockey tonight, because I know it's going to be a late one if you stay up for a 10 o'clock game here on the East Coast, but Golden Knights are playing the inaugural game against the Seattle Kraken. Is the new NHL expansion team. They're actually slated to be they are predicted to be a top 10 hockey team this year because the expansion league doesn't work the same in the NHL like it does in the NFL. Basically, what you do in the NHL is each team is allotted, I think it's somewhere 8 to 12 or something. There's a certain number of players that you can protect, right? And after that, they have an expansion draft, and the Kraken are allowed to pick off people from other NHL teams.
Wow, that's
so
awesome.
It is awesome. And so that's how the Vegas Knights had Marc-Andre Fleury as their goalie.
And I'll tell you what, if any other league, intends to expand, whether it's the NFL or the MLB, which I don't think they will. The MLB is at 30 teams, the NFL is at 32. I think that's really nice numbers, especially as far as scheduling and things like that goes. But that's a really awesome concept. You've got, I don't know what the numbers would work out to be in either of those sports, but it's a great way to have a first-year team be extremely competitive.
And that's what you want for the health of the league.
Yeah, absolutely. You want them to come in and be good. You don't want them to be the Texans.
The Golden Knights were in the Stanley Cup year 2, right?
First year.
Yeah, first year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lost, I believe, to the Capitals, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. They were actually in the Western Conference Finals last year as well. So
yeah, that's
or maybe
it was
the year prior. I can't remember. The years are blending with all the bubble and everything that's happened. So, but we are going to get to these. Do you guys want to do college football now, or you want to get into the picks first? I know Todd looks like Todd's itching to get on.
Todd's itching.
I need to know these picks. I'm jonesing because Bobby tallies them up and he goes, "Ooh."
It was a very good week for one of the three of us. I'm not going to say who.
I know who it was.
Yeah, I think you do.
It was Corey.
It was
definitely Corey. All right, we'll just get into it. You want me to start off with the records, or do you just want to go game by game?
Let's go game by game.
Okay. All right. Well, we obviously know the outcome of the Thursday night game. Corey and Todd went with the Rams. I went with the Seahawks. Geno Smith almost avenged my pick. I'll tell you what, man. I was so happy that he came in and played well.
He did a good job.
Like I'm just happy that these Jets players, outside of Le'Veon Bell, screw him, have been able to leave and find success. Because I just feel like the Jets they're a terrible franchise. They can't develop talent. They don't know what to do when they get it, and it's just awful. So that's the one thing I'll say about that.
Well said.
Yeah, I don't trust a single fucking thing that organization does ever.
Well, I would beg to differ. Because you both took the Jets against the Falcons.
Yeah. I put a 2 on it.
I forgot.
I put a 2 on it.
So I'm the only one that made the intelligent decision and took Falcons.
So
I just thought Zach Wilson was just come out to be a different breed in London.
Zach Wilson.
Way to flip that coin, Bob.
Oh my goodness! No, Cordero Patterson had another great game.
Kyle Pitts
was the standout for Atlanta.
My Atlanta.
Finally, he's been on my bench since the start of the season. I finally have some confidence to put him in the lineup this week. He may make it. We'll see. But it was just nice to see him have a breakout game. So you guys took the Jets. I took the Falcons. So we're all tied up at 1 win there. Game 3, Patriots-Texans. We all three went the Pats. I think that was a pretty clear choice.
Super close game, though.
It was a really good game. I was sweating in my shorts a little bit on that one. Geez, Pete Davis Mills came out with a huge touchdown drive to start the game out. I think they intercepted Mac Jones in the first half. I was like, oh my God, what is happening?
Yeah, they had some confidence rolling, but I just think it just comes down to better coaching. And Patriots made some halftime adjustments and did what they do.
Braves just took a 5-4 lead. Freddie Freeman with a home run.
God, good for you, Freddie. It's like that's one guy I just don't know how you can't root for him. He's awesome.
It's really hard not to.
Yeah, he's an amazing human being.
He's a great dad too.
Yes,
has a special place in my heart for a good dad as an athlete.
Yeah, absolutely. Game 4 of the week.
Like OJ.
Divisional matchup: Lions-Vikings. Vikings. We all three took them. They played well. Another close game. Separated by 2 points. Man, I cannot believe that the Vikings won that game.
This is a heartbreaker. Another one, and it literally brought tears to the eyes of Dan Campbell, which I'm not real like when I was like a 7, 8, 9, maybe even a 10-year-old. I used to bawl like a little bitch when I lost football games, right?
Yeah.
But
Because it never happened.
Right, exactly. Josh with a comment in here. Can we skip to the Monday night game when you get?
We're not going to skip the Monday night game, sir. We have a lot to talk about the Monday night game.
But
sorry.
So I used to get upset when I lost football games when I was a child. But what I didn't do before the season was talk about how I was going to bite people's kneecaps off. And when you punched me, I was going to fall down, but I was going to get back up. And on the way up, I was going to bite your other kneecap off. And then I was going to punch you back in the mouth, which is exactly what fucking Dan Campbell said when he was hired in Detroit. That was his press conference. I swear to God, those are the exact words he said. Talked about how we're going to be a tough football team, which great. Do that. But then you can't be crying in press conferences, man. You can't be crying in press conferences.
No, I mean, you
Not
can't.
natural. Is Bill Belichick crying ever? Bill Belichick got fired from his first NFL coaching job.
I'm not sure that man possesses any emotion.
Okay, let's go. Let's other greats. Nick Saban, did he cry? Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer just got made an asshole of himself. Would he cry? No. There are these things that good coaches do that bad coaches don't do.
To his defense, man, I love his passion.
Sure.
He knows he has a decent team that can go out there and win some football games. And it's tough to lose a game the way that they lost that game.
You can't get any more of that out of that roster. He's getting everything from those players. They are playing as hard as they possibly can. They're just not good. They're just not good.
Yeah, and they just lost a wide receiver.
Quentin Cephas is out for the season. Frank Ragnow, their starting all-pro center, out for the season. So the Bengals' interior defensive line better come hungry because there's going to be plenty this Sunday. So up here in Ford Field. So yeah. So, but it just comes like what if he does it again? Like, what if he goes up there and cries again?
You can't cry twice.
You can't.
You will lose that locker room.
Like, absolutely. 100%.
It'll be gone.
Game 5, week 5, Eagles Panthers. Once again, another great game, separated by less than 5 points. Eagles took that one. We all three took the Panthers. I thought the Panthers were gonna roll. Honestly,
I did too. What a surprise!
Jalen Hurts
came out and had a solid performance. Is Jalen Hurts the real deal?
He's too inconsistent still.
And you can't even just look at the stat line for Jalen Hurts because a lot of it, to be honest with you, is like fluff at the end of the game where he's just out there slinging like 17 times a drive. So I don't know. I can't make that call just yet. I don't think.
That's fair. Game 6, the one time that the Saints actually were picked correctly by one of the three of us. Todd and I took Washington. Corey took the Saints.
You like that Hail Mary to Kamara at the end of that first half? That was amazing.
Famous Jameis made us eat our words.
So
I hate that guy even more.
Real quick, back on the Eagles, real quick before we move on, just to give you what Jalen Hurts' stat line was from that game. 22 of 37, 198 yards. He averaged 5.4 yards per throw, no touchdowns, 1 interception. He had a QBR of 31.3 and a rating of 62.7. So
wow.
I'd say that definitely leaves some to be desired. However, one guy that did shine a little bit there, 7 catches for 77 yards, the Heisman Trophy winner himself, Devonta Smith.
On my bench.
Nice.
That's a shame. That's a shame, sir. All right, well, we'll skip the next one. We just talked about it. Titans, Jaguars. We all three took the Titans. They won. They won by 18 points, excuse me. Do you think this was the Titans playing very well, or do you think this was more based off of the Jaguars having a distraction in the locker room?
What do you think, Corey?
I think it's probably a little bit of both. I think on paper, the Titans are just clearly a better football team than the Jaguars. They have a better quarterback. They have a better running back. They are better at all the other skilled positions. They're better at defense. I think all around they're just a better football team than are the Jaguars. But that said, did the Jaguars have a lot on their plate outside of football happening right now? Absolutely. So I do think that weighed a little bit on it. Not a super great game for Ryan Tannehill in this one. 14 of 22, 197 yards. Did have a touchdown. Derrick Henry, though, I mean, just continues to be the man.
He ate the whole game.
Is Derrick Henry? Well, I guess I know we will kind of want to get into it a little bit later. Do you think Derrick Henry is the MVP right now?
I do not. That is not my slated MVP right now.
I don't even necessarily consider running backs to have the ability to be MVP anymore. Do I think that they should be? Yes, but is he gonna win it? I don't think so, unless he runs for he breaks the single season rushing record or something like that. But he did have 29 carries, 130 yards, and 3 tutties, averaging 4.5 yards per carry. So another just monster day for Derrick. I think he's on pace for like 2,200 yards or something stupid like that.
James Robinson also had a good game on Sunday.
Take a gander over there. James Robinson with 18 carries, 149 yards, and a touchdown. He averaged 8.3 a pop, continuing that trend from against the Bengals where he had a good.
That's insane.
Yeah. Back-to-back weeks of plus 100 yards of total offense with a touchdown. At least one touchdown.
It's amazing.
Yeah, Jack's got a good one there. I mean, do you think Travis Etienne even has a spot once he's healthy?
Oh yeah.
That's a great platoon. But Robinson is a more power running back, and Etienne is one of the best receiving running backs in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it as like a Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb combo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Except younger and faster.
Fair enough. Next game, the reason I won my fantasy league and my work league, the Buccaneers Dolphins. Tom Brady rolled. Rebounded from last week against the Patriots. 411 yards, 5 touchdowns. Antonio Brown had a great game.
Also, the Dolphins are awful.
That's true.
Awful. Their defense was on the field the whole game.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't let Tom Brady be on the field that long.
And
he's just going to wheel and deal.
They have a good defense too. They have like a decent defense, but it's hard to be good at defense when, like you said, they're literally on the field the whole game.
Absolutely.
Like their offense is just miserable. I want to get some first downs. Let's see. They did have
51 points in the standard league.
They did have 301 total yards as an offense. Let me get some defensive stats. They're not even going to give me defensive stats, are they? Time of possession, 37 minutes for the Buccaneers, 22 minutes, 53 seconds for the Niners.
It's a whole quarter.
Jesus.
Yeah, a whole quarter of football.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry to get to the next game, guys. Packers Bengals. Absolute heartbreaker in Cincinnati.
What a ridiculous game.
Give me your thoughts. I'll let you guys take the floor.
Go ahead.
So, 2 things to me. Mason Crosby missing 3 field goals means that global warming isn't real. That guy doesn't do that ever.
I want some statistical data on that, FYI. But please continue.
No, it's just saying that that's so outrageous that he would miss 3 field goals in a game. I mean, that guy's been automatic for over a decade. I think the turning point for me was the Bengals had the ball on 3rd and 5, and rather than just a short play-action play to get a first down, they handed off to Perine for 3 yards and make McPherson kick a 57 or 58-yard field goal when they very easily could have gotten the first down.
Yeah, it's 57-yarder, and then turned it back over to the Packers, who then went down and missed a 41-yarder, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. Yeah, I'd say a couple of things. One, I think if Joe Burrow could give some of his confidence to Zach Taylor, I think they both would be better for it. And what I mean by that is Joe Burrow needs to stop being so aggressive. I don't know if you saw the play where he ran, tried to get a first down, wasn't going to happen. He dove, got absolutely obliterated, slammed his head against the turf. He went out for a play. Everybody was holding their breath. He went into the, concussion protocol tent. And, he can't do that any longer. And Aaron Rodgers even went on the Pat McAfee show today. And, they asked him, what did you think of Joe? He's like, I love Joe Burrow. I think he's great. I like watching him play in college. I like watching him play now. But I told him, and it's the same thing I would have told Andrew Luck, is that, which scares the fuck out of me hearing that comparison, is like that, you got so much in front of you, man. You need to slide. You need to slide. That's what Aaron Rodgers told Joe Burrow after the game. He's like, you got too much talent. You got too much of your career in front of you. You need to slide. On the flip side of that, take those balls that Joe Burrow has and give them to Zach Taylor, because he didn't show any of them against Green Bay. You have an opportunity to drive down the field and give Evan McPherson a realistic shot at making a game-winning field goal, and you just didn't do it. On the other side of that, there were times when I think we punted from their 41-yard line.
Yep.
Their 41-yard line. Like, that's a 58-yarder. Take the shot. Take the shot at kicking the field goal. What are we doing here? That's why you drafted a kicker. We were the only team in the NFL, the Bengals, that drafted a kicker. And you said the reason you do that is because he can win you games. Let him try. So those are my two issues there. That said, I'm kind of going on a soliloquy here. If you need to jump in, please let me know. That said, Bengals fans, you need to calm the fuck down. You need to, all of this fire Zach Taylor stuff, thinking the world is ending. It's exactly like after the Bears game. Don't you agree? It's just exactly like that.
Yeah, look,
Amber, thanks for liking the video.
we go through this every close game that we lose, right? It's Zach Taylor's fault. Fire Zach Taylor, get him out of there. He's a piece of shit. It's not. Look, I agree with you that there was a time where we could have been a little bit, or multiple times where we could have been a little bit more aggressive on the offensive side of the ball, and we didn't do it, right?
Right.
But we hung tough with the Packers, which 2 years ago, that would have been an absolute shit show, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this was a minus. If you take Devontae Adams out of the picture of Green Bay, Cincinnati wins that game, right? Cincinnati just had no answer for Devontae Adams, which
we talked about before the game. We talked about that. Is that we literally said, who the fuck is going to cover Devontae Adams, and no one could the whole game. So
the one guy that they wanted to cover him is now in the IR again.
Yeah, Trey Wayne's going out on the IR out of these 3 weeks. He has played 2 games in Cincinnati since he was signed, not last offseason, the one before that. He has 1 more year on his contract. I don't see the Bengals allowing that to continue. I see a release on the horizon for Trey Waynes, and I don't want to talk about it right now because we're already in play. We're still in playoff contention, 5 weeks in, but cornerback is back on the market for the draft. Just throwing that out there. So, but yeah, all in all, Bengals fans, you need to chill the fuck out. We're just fine. The Bengals actually moved up in the ESPN power rankings. I don't know if you guys saw. We posted it today online to gain. I think they came in somewhere around 16, 14, somewhere in that range. So Bengals actually moved up. Titans moved up to 11. Bills stay at number 1. We'll talk about the Bills later. But I think, this was a litmus test, and you pass. That's if you can have those opportunities, I think we are going to win more of those games than we don't.
Pops, Greg, thanks for liking the video, guys. I appreciate it. We appreciate it. For those of you just joining us, please make sure that you follow Line to Gain. We're live on YouTube tonight. The link is in the description. Bruce also put it in the chat. Make sure you go find that. We're rolling through the Week 5 pick'em right now.
Charlie did make a good point here. No Mixon could have been the difference. And Mixon did get, I think, 3 or 4 carries, and when he did, he was running hard.
Yeah.
And I think there is something to be said about that. A real quick note before we move on for next week: Samaje Perine, injured reserve, COVID list. Carmen Jackson, injured reserve, COVID list. They are not going to be playing against Detroit. So in their place, you're going to have the rookie, who I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about. I'm so excited to watch this guy play. Number 25, Chris Evans from the University of Michigan. He is fast. He can catch the ball. Like, just do yourself a favor. If you're bored at your lunch break tomorrow, just pull up Chris Evans highlights and just watch this guy in open field. It is ridiculous. So I'm excited to watch him against Detroit. And then I think it's Dante Smith.
Deonta Smith.
Deonta Smith, 4th-round rookie that the Bengals drafted, is going to be filling in for Jackson Carman. Really, really impressed with what he did, as is the Bengals organization, especially in the preseason. So excited to see him get some time there. Appreciate that comment, Charlie. I totally agree. Mixon could have been the difference. He did have a touchdown. A touchdown. So
we'll get to see a little bit of Trayvon Williams too. They signed him off the practice squad today.
Oh, they brought him back. Oklahoma Sooner, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir. That's correct. He's a big fast and
yeah,
a good third and short back.
Yeah, it gives me Cedric Benson vibes. Rest in peace, sweet prince. Gone too soon.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited to see Chris Evans. His time in Michigan was really overshadowed because of how poorly Michigan performed the last 2 years.
Yeah.
But he was one of the best running backs in the Big Ten, and that's including Ohio State running backs.
Yeah. So it'll be fun to watch. What do we got next on the docket?
Yeah, absolutely. Chat, I want to apologize. I had the wrong microphone selected. When I got in here and I started listening to Todd and I talk, it sounded like we were really far away. Now it sounds quality. So apologize for all the audio issues tonight. I got a new computer for gaming, so I've got 2 different PCs set up here. It's been a whirlwind trying to get it all set up. So appreciate you guys being patient with us and let us get it figured out.
Real quick update on the ice for tonight. Todd, if you want to look up an update on the between the chalk lines there for us. But on the ice right now, again, the defending Stanley Cup champions, the Tampa Bay Lightning, are down 2-0 to the Pittsburgh Penguins. They did just stave off a Pittsburgh power play, and we are coming into the end of the second period here. Later tonight, again, we do get the Las Vegas Golden Knights playing host to the Seattle Kraken for their inaugural game. I'm excited to see that one happen.
We also have a final in the Atlanta-Milwaukee game.
Oh.
Braves take the series.
Wow.
Going to be facing the winners of the Dodgers and the Giants.
Big
series.
I know one fellow who's absolutely juiced right now, and that's Ben Mosley, my cousin. Huge Braves fan.
We could be getting the decision tonight, as the Giants do lead that series 2-1. They're in the bottom of the first out in Los Angeles.
All right. Next game on the docket, game that I was physically present for, the Steelers at home against the Broncos. What a great experience, Dad. Thanks for the invite and also grabbing the tickets. Heinz Field is absolutely electric. So I would highly recommend, even if you are not a fan of the Steelers, if you're going there to catch the Bengals play the Steelers, probably the only reason you'd ever be there. Man, what a great stadium. Great stadium, great food. The surrounding bar scene was really awesome. Parking was expensive, but overall, what a great experience. Definitely enjoyed it. Josh and I were right where Deontay Johnson caught that touchdown pass. Best ball Ben threw all year so far. Corey, you're laughing, but
no, that was funny.
It's true. It's true. Best ball he's thrown all year. Man, I thought they were going to give it away there at the end.
Damn near did.
Whew.
To the donkeys.
I was shaking in my boots. But no, good win for the Steelers. Good rebound. Yeah, we all three had the Steelers.
You know, I've only been. You mentioned going to Heinz Field. I've only been to 2 away games as a fan. I've been to Mile High and I've been to Ford Field. I'll be going to Ford Field again this Sunday, but Um, you know, like NFL like is different. Like I would be comfortable taking my kids as kids to a baseball game. I would be comfortable taking my kids to probably a hockey game. I don't think I would take my kids to an NFL game as children. I don't think I could do that.
Why is that?
NFL fans suck. They're really bad. Like they're really, really like everyone is piss drunk. Now I'm not gonna act like I don't enjoy myself at an NFL game, but like at Mile High Stadium, I have had multiple times, well, not multiple times, I have had a time where the lady's like in my face, dude, just because I'm cheering for the Bengals. You know what I mean? I'm not part of them. You know what I mean? I'm the other at that point. I've heard that about First Energy Stadium in Cleveland. I've heard it about Heinz Field. I've heard it about Paul Brown. I just I know that like NFL fans view it as like a battle.
Yeah,
That
it's definitely a much more hostile environment.
Imagine being a visiting fan in Philadelphia.
no,
That's an
I wouldn't
absolute
do it.
nightmare.
Wouldn't do it. Mm-mm.
I don't know. I don't know if there's enough money for me to do that.
I would never go there. As I would have to go to like a neutral game.
Yeah,
That's the only way I could go. And just wear all black and sit at the very top of the stadium and have nobody talk to me.
Lions fans aren't like that though. Lions fans are more, I don't know, docile.
They're not good
Yeah.
enough to talk shit.
Exactly. That's I didn't want to say that, but yes, exactly. 100%. 100%. They haven't sniffed much success lately, and it's you're gonna catch a here or there kind of comment from somebody, but
Yeah.
it's generally speaking, it's what my experience wasn't too bad. Mile High, there were some really cool people there though at Mile High. They're kind of like, don't, she's not us, get her out of here kind of thing. Because it was a lady actually got in my face yelling at me. It was fun.
I've been to 4 NFL stadiums. I've been to Soldier Field. Really cool experience. Heinz, Paul Brown, and then down in Jacksonville. I would probably say as far as stadium and quality and just overall like cleanliness, Heinz Field was at the top.
Interesting.
Paul Brown's just a POS, man. That place needs a renovation hard. Sorry about it, but Paul Brown is just not. It is not fun to walk in there.
Yeah, because you're wearing shit on your shirt, Bobby. That's why it's not fun to walk in there.
I have been to Paul Brown at a neutral game where I wasn't wearing any gear, sir.
So what was so bad? I don't have that experience at all because I actually
maybe
I've
I
been to
just
Joe
compare
Louis-
it to Great American, and it's just extremely subpar.
I don't think you can't compare baseball and football as
you
an
can't.
experience.
But
though.
when I walked into Heinz Field, I got a completely different vibe from just the overall like attractions, the food vendors, like just the staff, like everything was just here. And
Wouldn't you say there's obvious bias there? Like there's obviously some sentimental attachment
no,
that
not at all,
elevates
because like
What?
when you
Come
walk
on.
into Paul Brown, it's just all concrete. It's gray. There's no color. Like it's just boring. Like-
I get what you're saying, but you're gonna sit here and honestly tell me that there's no part of your inside.
If I'm
that
looking at it
affects your
objectively, if I'm
You
looking at it,
can't. That's my point. You can't look at it objectively. None of us can look at either one objectively.
all
You're a
right,
Steelers fan.
I'm obviously not going to win this argument. From a completely objective experience, if I was a fan of neither team and I went to each stadium,
No, I
Heinz
understand.
Field is superior.
I understand your sentiment about the concrete structures and the green seats. I understand that. I get that perspective. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Paul Brown Stadium is the Taj Mahal of NFL stadiums. So that's just not the
No,
case.
I'd go to Jerry World and I'd be like, man, Heinz Field's a piece of shit.
Well, yeah, I mean that place is ridiculous, but yeah, I'm more so. I guess I'm not. When I go to baseball stadiums, I do think that way. I think about how things look and that aesthetic. I'm not even in that mindset when I walk into a football stadium, though.
Yeah.
And maybe that's because I've only been to a few. I'd say Mile High Stadium is not super aesthetically pleasing. It's just a cool environment. And that's what I think really makes an NFL stadium different than a baseball stadium, is that it's about the fans. It's about how loud everyone is. That really affects the environment.
Yeah,
Whereas
absolutely.
like Ford Field, I don't know if you've ever been in a dome before. It's
I have.
really cool.
I've been to
It's
Ford
really
Field.
cool. It's cool. It's just cool
Yeah.
being in a dome.
I think Detroit as a whole does a nice job with their professional venues. I've been to Tiger Stadium or Comerica, whatever it's called now, Ford Field, and then the Pistons' new arena. And all three of those are really, really good experiences for me. Banker's Life in Indianapolis is great. But I've been to a couple of other venues for professional sports, and it just doesn't feel the same way. Detroit, for not having
Good teams.
great organizations, it's a good feeling in there.
Yeah.
Lucas Oil, and I've been to Lucas Oil as well, and
Do not
that
lump
was
the Red Wings in with the Tigers or the.
That's
or
the only
the
Detroit
Red
team
Wings.
that's had a lot of success in the last, couple decades.
And I think baseball
The
stadiums
Pistons?
also possess a lot more historical value to it as well, right? Especially for like a team like the Tigers, where it runs back into the early 20th century,
Right.
so you can appreciate players from 1910 up to 2019.
And
And
I did
Bobby-
misspeak. You're absolutely correct, Corey. The Pistons had some success. Even the Tigers had some success. So
The Pistons won the NBA Finals in 2004 against the Lakers. I think
Sure
they
did.
swept them.
yep. Ben Wallace
Big Ben and Rashid.
and
Ben Wallace is
Chancey.
actually now part of the Detroit Pistons front office,
that's awesome.
And is now a Hall of Fame member.
which is just
As he should be.
wild.
All right, we kind of got off topic here. We went on a huge tangent. Next
Fun.
game on the docket, the Raiders. Bruce, this one's for you, and the Bears. A lot of news came out of Vegas this week.
Dude, just I knew it. I knew it.
You know what, Corey? This is your one moment to say to me,
Well, I told you so.
yes.
If you guys don't know what we're talking about, there was like 3 weeks ago where I just like was ripping on John Gruden and how I just didn't like him. I thought he was a fraud. And
And there's only one person that has stood up for him this entire time, and that was Josh Jacobs.
wow.
Josh-
That's
Josh Jacobs said he never got that vibe from him, but everybody else came out and absolutely, pardon my French, shit on him
Yeah.
for being a terrible human being.
Keyshawn Johnson called him a fraud this morning
Yeah.
on live
did he?
TV.
Yes.
I
Yes.
talked to Keyshawn. I talked to Keyshawn.
I was at the gym this morning, and I was watching him on First Take, and it just, the banner is Keyshawn Johnson, Gruden's a fraud, and I started dying laughing.
Well, I mean, think about it. The guy hasn't won anything in 20 years. He's got a losing record since his installment with the Raiders. They've never made the playoffs since he's been back with the Raiders. Signed a 10-year contract and went 3 years. That said, I think that there is some smelly shit involved in this whole thing.
We were talking about that before.
So here's my thing.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
This is what I was talking to Todd about, and I'm not. Gruden's a piece of shit for what he said and all the emails. Like the famous quote: "If you're gonna talk shit, say it to somebody's face. Don't ever put it on paper." Right? But I think the reason that all of this came about is the leader of the players' union was up for re-election, and I think he was going to lose, and he needed something to bring him back in the race.
Okay.
That's my take on it. I think there's a little collusion there, but all of that aside, that's just a personal thought. Gruden, I mean, just absolutely unbelievable. You know, he was quoted by saying that the Rams pick of Michael Sam was, you know, he called him an LGBT slur. I couldn't think of the other two letters. LGBTQ slur.
Yeah, a homophobic slur. Yeah.
Yeah, homophobic slur. He made racist comments. I mean, it's just an absolute piece of shit. I mean, you can't. you know, and
Make
Todd
comments
said,
about women being referees and how
Right.
he's against that. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like, just a complete piece of shit thinks that his shit doesn't stink. You
And
know,
that's the thing is this all happened while he was an employee of ESPN,
Right.
Yeah.
not while he was a head coach.
That's the caveat to it all, right? Is that he was an employee for another organization. He was in no way attached to the NFL. So I think his balls got a little bit bigger than he could handle.
Yep.
And started spouting off, cashing, some bullshit, and I'm not shocked. Here's the thing: when all this stuff started coming out, it wasn't like, oh, I can't believe Gruden would do this. He's always been a piece of shit.
yeah, he's a terrible human being.
Yeah. Now there's proof in the pudding.
And you know,
That's it.
I think the thing for me is it's really sad, right? You know, you've got a guy of this caliber who's touched a lot of lives in the NFL from a young quarterbacks. I mean, he had a whole skit on young quarterbacks, and he's sitting down with people of various backgrounds, and while he's holding these reserved thoughts, just being a complete fake piece of just garbage. It's just like. It's just really sad that type of mentality still exists in today's society. To be completely honest, it's something that I feel very strongly about. And anytime I hear it, I shut it down so fast because it's just the complete wrong way to approach life.
And these
Absolutely.
and a couple of other points that excuse me that were that I'm basically echoing that I heard and strongly agree with earlier today. The first of which is that John Gruden is, and this is a quote that I heard earlier, is but one tree among a forest. John Gruden is not the only person in the NFL that behaves this way. There's no way that one human being feels that comfortable to say those things unless they've had conversations like that with other people. And
there was a great quote that I saw from ESPN today. It's like, okay, obviously, we've got Gruden. Who was he talking to? Who were the people that were involved in these conversations?
Their response?
Right.
So that's one thing, and that brings me to the next point. How did we discover all of these?
Right.
Do you know?
Where did they? I have no idea. It just kind of came out.
Happening?
It came out of nowhere for me, at least.
The Washington football team was under investigation. The owner of the Washington football team has knowingly sent, like, this is just information that you could have. He has sent nude photos or topless photos of the Washington football team cheerleaders to people outside of the organization, John Gruden included in that list of people. And that's how there's an interaction there. So I
have so many questions.
This is just a rabbit hole, right? So they started investigating the Washington football team. And they're uncovering all these emails. And they're going back and they're going back and they're following. And they uncover these emails that John Gruden has had. He's referenced Roger Goodell as a football-hating, homophobic slur, basically. And he's gone off about Roger Goodell and how he doesn't like him. And so it begs the question, what about this investigation into the Washington football team? Where's the report on that? Why aren't we hearing anything about the Washington football team and what they've done? And because there had to be something, right? You did an investigation. Yeah. Where's the report? So now it just leads me to ask, did Roger Goodell just catch a whiff of this? He wanted a reason to look for it. He found it, and now he got John Gruden out. John Gruden should be out. That's not what I'm saying. He's the face of a billion-dollar organization where you are held to different standards than me, you, or the guy at the restaurant down the street. So,
right,
John Gruden should be out. But was this Roger Goodell coming for him?
For sure. Pop's coming to the comment. John Gruden is and was out of line. In line with that, the NFL needs to review the lyrics of the Super Bowl rap acts. They definitely attack women and make hateful comments. Dad, to your point, I do agree that there is a lot of content out there. In various industries, not rap music, by itself, that makes comments that are derogatory towards females. But there's no way that happens, at that stage. This is going to be a purely entertainment aspect. It's going to be talking about a lot of success and just genuine lyricism as a whole. I don't think that we'll see any of what you're describing. Although I do agree, there's a lot of content out there across multiple genres that do talk about those types of things. But we're not going to see that in the Super Bowl. That's not the time nor the place, nor is it ever the place. So thank you for that, though. Next game on the board, we'll let go of the Raiders. Obviously, that's a tough situation. We'll monitor as it goes on throughout the season. Another great game in Week 5, Chargers Browns. Man, the Browns lost in a close one.
They got hosed.
Yeah, one pass interference call changes the trajectory of the whole game. That call goes the other way, they win.
Oh, I thought you were being sarcastic at first. I was like, uh-oh.
No, I'm serious. That was genuine. Yeah.
It was just a horrible, horrible call. You guys have talked about officiating, when you guys are covering baseball, because there's a lot of really bad umpiring right now in baseball. I would say that equally as bad, if not worse, is the officiating that we're seeing at the collegiate and the pro level in football.
It has not been great.
So I think awful. College football is actually worse.
Yeah.
The officiating in college football is almost painful. I mean, sorry to bring this up, but the Kentucky-Florida game is a prime example of that. Yeah. There were 27 penalties called, and maybe 13 of them were actual legitimate penalties because 9 of those were false starts.
Yeah.
There has been a lot of promotion and moving people through the ranks faster and officiating because of the falling out of COVID for a lot of these guys. A lot of people either got out of officiating or they've maybe changed the level of officiating that they're doing. So there's a lot of people in college where guys were doing 1AA or Division II that are now doing Power 5 games, and they're just not prepared for that.
Well, not only that, I mean, just even looking at just the NFL, these guys, that's not their full-time job.
Right.
Let me be very clear. I am not blaming the referees here. This is not an individual problem for the referees. This is a problem for the NFL. The NFL exclusively needs to fix this problem. Well, how do you do that? How do you fix this problem? Well, make it their full-time job. If they don't want to do it, then you'll find other people that will have adequate training. They will invest their off season in taking, watching film, studying how to be better. Pay them.
Here's my perspective. This is just a life perspective. You absolutely 1,000,000% get what you pay for.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If you want quality, pay for quality. If you want dog shit, pay for dog shit.
That's right.
I can't say it enough in my personal life. I don't say it a lot on here, but like if you want something to work out well, there not all the time do you have to fork over a ton of money, but I would say probably 60-70% of the time you get what you pay for.
Yeah, traditionally quality speaks for itself.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If you want great results, if you want good quality in the product, you pay for it.
Yeah, look at officiating in the NBA. Very seldomly, other than some gambling that happens in the NBA from the referee side, you don't hear a lot of people talking bad about officiating or one call make or breaking a game. But that's happened multiple times at the collegiate level and the NFL level this year already.
So I guess for me, what I don't understand, maybe I need to do some more research into it, is why is that not a full-time job? Why is there not, off-season training for these guys?
So they do.
They don't enforce it. They don't enforce it to be a full-time job.
Right. So similar. It's funny because being an NFL referee, there's only, I think, maybe 30 more hours of training than being a high school football referee, like going into a season.
That's unreal.
Think about that. So the guys that are refereeing GMC football games, if they had 30 more hours of training and better connections, they could be doing Power 5 college football games. Think about that. That's literally all it takes.
That's crazy.
That's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, and the game suffers because of it. But I mean, all back to the game. I mean, the Chargers look great. I don't want to take anything away from them, from their ability to win that football game against the Browns. But I'm never going to feel sorry for the Cleveland Browns because it's just not in my DNA. But you do kind of have to put yourself in their shoes from that one, and I would be livid. That one would sting a little bit more. But Chargers continue to roll, and the Browns are still in it. They've still got a lot to look forward to this season.
Yeah, absolutely. All right,
Justin Herbert.
My
God.
Just-
and Mike Williams. Holy shit.
Mike Williams had a day.
Yeah, I traded him week 2, and I hate it.
Oh, God. I'm so sorry.
Well, I had
Sorry
to.
for
I
your
needed
loss,
running
sir.
back depth.
Condolences. All right, let's move on. Cowboys, Giants. Dak Prescott continues to impress.
And the Giants' woes continue.
Yes.
No
Yeah,
Saquon. No Daniel Jones.
Yeah, Kenny Galladay.
Yeah, the Giants are just in shambles at this point.
Also, did you guys see the Daniel Jones hit that caused a concussion?
No.
Didn't.
It's tough. It's a tough one to watch.
Yeah. Oh,
If
I
you
saw
have
that-
not,
saw that-
I would go back and look at it.
I saw the after where he's stumbling and Curse comes and keeps him from falling onto the ground.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very clear from second of contact that he was not going to get up on his own.
Yeah.
Was it a legal hit?
It was a legal hit. But don't be in the open field as a quarterback and leave yourself susceptible to that.
Yep.
Live.
We've had quite a few quarterbacks learn that lesson, and Daniel Jones is just the next one on the list. We all three took the Cowboys over the Giants. Previous game, we all three took the Chargers over the Browns. Next game on the board, the only undefeated team left in the league, the Cardinals versus the 49ers, and they obviously won and kept that streak alive.
A lesser performance from Kyler Murray on Sunday. His first real defensive test as well, though.
Yeah. Good pressure from San Fran. It's just kind of their bread and butter right now.
James Conner had a good game. You were right. I will give you credit on this platform.
James Conner did outperform Jamison Crowder. It just goes back to the London thing, man. You're gonna feast or famine when they're playing in London. They're either gonna do really, really well or really, really bad. That's just my experience. But just in keeping with the rookie quarterback updates, Trey Lance 15 of 29, 192 yards. He averaged six and a half yards per pop. Did throw an interception. Rough QBR there at 33.9 and a rating of 58.4.
All right, 2 games left on the board. The last game that we were split on, Bills Chiefs. Corey and Todd projected this game correctly. I took the Chiefs, figuring their woes would not continue. But the Bills, they're just the best team in football. I mean, that's just what it comes down to.
They are the best team, and Patrick Mahomes did not look good.
No, he looked awful.
Yeah.
And now you have a questionable Travis Kelce.
Yeah, I mean, basically what the Bills did that game is they just sat 2 safeties deep the whole time and said, "We're not giving it to you. You're not getting Tyreek on a streaker. It's not happening. So you're gonna have to make these intermediate throws. We'll give you those all day, but you're not getting the deep ball on us." And Mahomes was off. He wasn't making good throws, and they can't run the ball. The Chiefs cannot run the ball. And now I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is on the IR, so he's out for at least 3 weeks.
So now you're going to see Damian Williams for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah. So the Chiefs need to figure it out. They need to change. They need to continue to change because the defenses have changed and they are stopping them.
Yep.
I think the big thing to this, and I don't think we've really talked about it yet, is that the Chiefs are being outcoached. Strategy is better from. I mean, Buffalo clearly had Mahomes' number the entire game, right?
Yeah.
And they did not falter from keeping deep coverage while still providing some decent pressure on Mahomes, forcing him out of the pocket.
I did have Sean McDermott in my top 5 when I listed coaches and I ranked them out. I got some question marks for it. I'm just telling the guy, he just wins. Like since he's gotten there, not only has the team gotten better, but they've gotten better because of his ability to develop Josh Allen. Like we need to be focusing on this. Like we're gonna rip Matt Nagy because he couldn't develop Mitch Trubisky. He's ruining Justin Fields. Let's give some credit to Sean McDermott for what he's been able to do with arguably one of the highest ceiling quarterbacks out of that draft. Remember, you had Lamar, Baker, you had Josh Rosen, you had Sam Darnold, yikes. Sam Darnold, and then Josh Allen was that fifth one of the major quarterbacks. I think Daniel Jones might even have been in that one. I can't remember, but anyway, I digress.
Yes, Daniel Jones was in that class. Do you guys also remember that there was a point in time where Josh Rosen was the top-rated quarterback out of that class?
You know what's really funny is I actually made that blunder in that it's basically what I said. Josh Allen has the highest ceiling. Baker Mayfield was the most pro-ready right then. Sam Darnold would be the biggest bust, and that Josh Rosen would be the best after 10 years, is what I said.
Whoops.
Still time.
Hey, the grass is always greener, my friend.
So, to be fair, though, his time at UCLA, he was prolific. Sure. I mean, he led UCLA to 3 years consecutively of being in the top 10, or at least top 15. And there was no football program there prior to him getting there. So, if you look at
the Mark Sanchez of his day.
Yeah. If you look at just pure production, Josh Rosen had some pretty large upside. But his arrogance and his lack of commitment to being better at the NFL level is what caused his career to fall apart. He just didn't want it hard enough. He didn't work hard enough.
Did you hear, I don't know if you've ever heard the phone call, when they do the draft and like you see the player doing this and talking on the phone while he's getting drafted or talking to like the head coach of the GM. I don't know if you've ever heard Josh Rosen's before. The most arrogant motherfucker I've ever heard in my life. The most arrogant. Like literally it's just like, we're gonna win so many Super Bowls. We are gonna win so many Super Bowls. It's like, dude, you need to chill out.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what Joe Burrow said when he was drafted? This is before Andy Dalton was even released, I think. And Joe Burrow was just like, I'll hold the clipboard if they need me to. I'll do whatever. Like that's the difference, right? That's like those mindsets. Just it's so clear.
Absolutely. Well, that draft class bringing us into our final game of the week. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens versus the Colts.
Shit.
So for those of you that had Lamar Jackson on your fantasy teams, good for you. You probably won this week. If you didn't, I did. I'd be blown away.
Corey, just so you understand Josh's league, Lamar Jackson scored 64.5 points.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. So
I was down by 30.
So here's the thing. The Colts absolutely had the Ravens number in the first half. Lamar got all of his points in the second half. He did all of his damage in the second half. 30 minutes of football, and he just absolutely dominated.
I mean, the Colts came out hot, man. They looked good. They looked really, really good.
I don't know what was said at halftime to the Ravens and their team, but Harbaugh, man, wow.
He just said, "Oh wow, Lamar Jackson, oh wow."
I mean, not even just the second half, because the Colts came out with like a massive bomb to Michael Pittman Jr. to start the second half off. Like this was literally with I don't know, like 6-8 minutes left. That the Colts are up 8, and I'm like, all right, they're in field goal range. I'm going to bed. I lost my big parlay. Whatever. Bengals are still tied for first place. And then I wake up and it's like, Lamar Jackson is the greatest person alive. And I'm like, oh my God, what happened? And I just look up and like, they won.
Wheeler popped in with a comment saying he did damage in the fourth quarter. Late third, early fourth. Second half. So I was streaming, and Wheeler told me the update, and he said they were up by 20 points. And I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go to bed. I'm not even gonna flip this game on. And then I was talking about it with people at work today, and I'm like, yeah, the Colts were fucking awesome. He's like, they're like, the Ravens won. I'm like, what? I was that guy that was talking sports out of his ass this morning because I didn't actually look. I just assumed that the Colts just kept rolling, and they didn't.
So here's a fun stat. Obviously, we shared with each other earlier today for our enjoyment. Just going to update you on total yardage by team. In 13th place, the Las Vegas Raiders have a total yardage of 1,885 yards this season. The Eagles are in 14th place with 1,863 yards this season. Lamar Jackson himself has 1,860 yards. That is
He's beating
insane.
half of the NFL in yardage just by himself.
Lamar Jackson has more yardage than more than half of the NFL right now by himself. So there's my new front runner for
So
MVP.
to come full circle on this, MVP?
MVP. That's my MVP.
Yeah, Lamar's my MVP.
He has
right
to
now.
be.
Yeah. I mean,
He absolutely has to be.
he's a
And
freak.
I hope Mark Ingram is somewhere just totally just flexing for
He's
Lamar right now.
He's in Houston trying to figure out how to play with Daddy Longneck.
Yeah.
And Josh, no problem, dude. We know that was a tough loss for you. We wanted to make sure you were okay.
Yeah, we did check in on Joshy today. He's doing all right.
He said, "You good, bro?"
Yeah, you should.
Hey, bro, you good?
We're here for him. We all get it.
Yeah. Part of the Rally Towel family. Got to check on each other.
All right, fam. To recap the Week 5 picks, and close everything up for the evening. Corey had a monster week, 14-2. 14-2, unbelievable week. Todd was at 13-3, and I was at 12-4.
Oh, 13-3. 14-2 is a monster week. 13-3, I'm just in the conversation.
We
You're
all
just
had a
another
great
fucking
week.
guy, Todd.
so-
You're just another fucking guy.
Well, I'm just saying that is the highest percentage week that we've had to date. 14-2. I mean, it hasn't been higher. The highest was previous to this was 12, and I went 12-4, and you both were better than that. So, the actual standings for the entire year, we've got a tie for first place. Todd and Corey at 51-28, and I am now in the cellar at 50-29. I am one game back.
In the cellar, one game back.
This is insane. It's so close. What happens if we tie? I think we have to do a playoff pool, like a playoff bracket.
We just drive to Chicago.
We just meet in Findlay and figure out where to go from there.
I think we meet in Indianapolis. That's got to be like
Yeah,
in Detroit.
we go to Indy.
Yeah.
It's about 2 hours each way, give or take.
No,
3
it's
hours.
not 2 hours. It's like that's a solid 5-hour run for me.
Oh shit! All right. That's not,
Findlay sounds a little bit shorter.
Guess we're going to Bowling Green.
We can stop in Perrysburg.
I was gonna say Cleveland, but I don't think we want that.
They don't want that. I actually have a lot of friends in Cleveland. We could have a great time.
But no, super close. Thursday night we'll be back with the pick'em for Week 6. I am obviously gonna do what I can to separate myself from the pack and regain my 1 game deficit in the coming week. But through 5 weeks, if you said 1 game would split all of us, I would have not believed it.
No.
It's been incredibly close, so it's been a hell of a lot of fun. I know we're enjoying it. I hope you guys are enjoying it, and we definitely look forward to doing it and continuing as the season moves on. Chat, do you guys have anything for us as we kind of close the night out? Covered a lot tonight.
While those comments are rolling in here, just give another quick shout out to Ring 'em Up as our new baseball podcast for Rally Towel Sports.
Yeah.
You drop the link into the chat here. Go ahead and follow, look Ring 'em Up. And quick update right now on the NLDS out in Los Angeles. The Dodgers are up 2-0 on the Giants with 2 ducks on the pond and 2 away. Runners on the corner there for the Dodgers. So looks like
Anthony Desclafani on the bump.
Yikes.
Going up against Walker Bueller. You tell me who that favors. Walker Bueller, one of the best.
Not the former Red. We'll just put it that way.
One of the best already established a great career young arm in baseball. has been a playoff machine for LA.
Yeah.
Since his September call up.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I mean, as we get deeper into this, this is the second, I would say, official stream of the collaboration. As us combining forces, we're gonna get a schedule out there for you. We plan on just to give you guys kind of a picture of what we're planning. We plan on getting content out there at least 4 to 5 days a week. It's going to be across various channels, so we're going to do our best to keep you guys posted. We'll be posting across all of our pages on where to look that evening for the content and where we're going to be live, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or both. As far as I'm concerned, I think the game plan is to be live on both platforms. As we move forward between YouTube and Facebook, it's just going to be a different page. So make sure that you follow all of them. Line to Gain, Ring 'em Up, In the Post, Rally Towel Sports. We've got four pages to follow. Please make sure that you're all there if you want to catch the content. Yeah, that's all I've got. That was my final PSA. Unless you guys have anything.
I think you covered it, buddy.
Yeah, I think we're good. We will be live, like Bobby said, Thursday night as the Buccaneers take on the Eagles in Philadelphia at Lincoln Financial Stadium.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, we appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Appreciate all the comments, all the shares, all the likes. You guys are amazing. You guys keep us going. And we cannot wait to get back in here Thursday night for the Week 6 Pick'em. Whoop, whoop. All right, y'all. Have a great night.
Bye, everybody. We'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in to Line the Game.